We're going to move on to a little bit more of a casual segment where I share some DM tips. I always choose 3 great DM tips and 2 great player tips throughout the week to share with you. And we do that live on stream. And then, of course, I share that out through my Twitter as well. So my first DM tip for this Saturday, the week of July 4th, happy Independence Day, friends in America, is to gently check in with your quiet players specifically. They might need a little bit more coaxing to feel like they're part of the adventure as well. If you notice that somebody's a little bit more withdrawn or they seem distracted or you're experiencing checkout, just give them a minute to check in quietly. Don't table it. I would probably avoid tabling it in front of the entire party, because if they are a little bit more shy or having trouble kind of really, getting into the groove with the game, then they might need a little bit of, sidebar just to understand how they're feeling. Maybe there are things about the character they want to change. Maybe they're having trouble understanding, or maybe they're simply overwhelmed by the game, which happens often. So check in those quiet players. I guarantee you it's not because they're not having fun, or in most cases they're not having fun. It's usually because they might just need a little bit more of a welcome wagon. My second player tip of the week, if you've experienced something like this, to take an existing monster and reskin them or change them to your needs cosmetically to keep things fresh and keep your characters guessing. A goblin could be a sea creature with the exact same stats and abilities, or a bugbear might be some kind of hulking yeti in the Arctic regions of the high northern peaks. And I think this is especially useful while we're waiting for new bestiary to come out and support regions that we've unexplored, like Icewind Dale. You can always take anything from the Monstrous Manual and reskin it or retool it to meet your needs. So I always have fun with that. It also combats meta a little bit. We have players who fought so many goblins that they know what their abilities are. They know how they react. If you just tweak that goblin, how it looks, plays, sounds, you might keep your players guessing and maybe even eliminate a little bit of meta at the same time, which is always annoying to have to contend with at the table. Let me throw a third one out to you for this week. My third Dungeon Master tip is that if play comes to PvP, player versus player, pause, wait, check in with everyone and have a conversation with those players. Set the expectations around that player versus player combat or interaction and keep it friendly before the first dice rolls. PvP and player-player conflict can introduce some really great, amazing dynamics, story moments, and bonding opportunities, but it can also very quickly go sideways and transcend the table and actually affect long-term friendships and relationships, and that's not what we're here for. So take your time, slow it down, talk to those players, make sure that everybody's comfortable with what's about to happen and how it's happening. And that's a good general rule at the table. For players, please think about having a plan B for your turn in case the situation changes before your initiative. Keep that combat moving, and this is something that I'm always combating, is, no pun intended, is trying to keep it fluid and moving through the game. And a big part of making that happen is character awareness for players, and also not waiting until your turn comes around to start thinking about what you're going to do. I always encourage my players to have a plan A and a plan B. Know what you're going to do, but have something else in your pocket in case the situation changes, which can happen often, especially the more players you have at the table. If you miss a plan B and your plan B gets screwed up too, then you can start to think about what you're going to do in the moment. But it should be so rare that that'll keep things moving fluidly around the table. My last player tip for the day, my second and final player tip this week, is to bring a damn pencil with you. Now, this is a little bit situational, of course. Not many people are going through pencils today, but I always used to tell my players, when you come to the table, please bring a pencil and then bring an extra pencil. Bonus points if you bring an eraser. Because no one ever has one. No one ever has either of them. And I'm running out of damn pencils. I have to save my money for D&D books. I can't supply the world with pencils. Please bring a pencil to the game. Just a bit more of a fun one. But seriously, though.